And hopefully, if all works, we'll see it here. Fingers crossed. Wait and see if it usually takes about 10 seconds or so. That doesn't look good. Oh.
There we go.
You see it?
Yeah, delayed, but yeah.
Perfect. Well, let's not pay too much attention to that then, because it'll get confusing because it's delayed, but at least it's working. Okay, so we're live at the Effie Arts Collective in Kamloops, BC. My apologies to anyone watching. Our audio is not going to be fantastic tonight because I was unprofessional and didn't properly test the equipment before we get here. So it's just using the iPhone's microphone, so it's not going to be ideal audio. My apologies to you.
It's all good. I think it's pretty cool that we get to kind of do this for our first event. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, very cool. So why don't you tell us what's going on here tonight?
All right, it's the kickoff for the Drew McLean Comedy Fest. It's 4 days, 4 nights. 4 nights, not 4 days, of comedy throughout Kamloops. We've got about 22 to 25 comedians from Kamloops, Kelowna, and all over Western Canada coming out to perform for everybody. We've got 10 shows over the 4 days at 2 different venues.
And that is this the first time it's been with the 2 different venues?
No, we've last year we actually did 3 venues,
okay.
And this year we tried to limit it to 2. Change it up a little bit, but you know we're trying to build on what Drew did, but we have to go backwards first before
right.
We really, because he was doing things around the region, right? He had shows out of town, right? Merritt, Salmon Arm. He was hitting Chase. He was hitting that kind of
right.
location, and for us, I mean, we're just trying to obviously keep going on the legacy that he built, but you know. We got to walk before we can run, right?
Sure.
It's only the 2nd year, and
yeah,
that we've been doing it.
So. Right. So, why don't you speak a little bit about you know the Drew side of this, you know, in his honor, his memory, or.
Sure. I mean, obviously, it was something like Drew got me into comedy. He was doing shows at the Dirty Jersey, and he was giving amateurs an opportunity to perform, right? And he always pushed me to go up on stage and. Finally did it, right? And you know, first time I did okay, second time I bombed, and which is bound to happen, right?
Yeah.
And, but it was just that opportunity, right? That he gave to so many people locally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And allowed us to just have a little bit of a dream, right? Like about it. I mean, it wasn't for me. I'm old enough that I wasn't planning on, you know, touring and becoming
starting a whole new career. Yeah.
No, not at all. But you know. But at the same point in time, it was pretty neat that, sorry, I'll stop this from clicking. Pretty neat to get that opportunity. And then he hosted the festival for 5 years in a row. This is the 7th iteration of it. And basically we were talking about an open mic right before his death. And it was, I thought it was so cool, right? Because I was like, this is what we need to build a scene here. And unfortunately, obviously, he passed away almost immediately the next week. We were planning the second one, and it was sort of I felt like I had to keep it going a little bit, right? Just because I felt like that's what he would have wanted, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I owed that to him. And then when the opportunity came up to really keep the festival going, me and Aaron decided that it was important to us, right? And that we try to keep it alive. So
great. So you guys have, you know, done in the couple of years since then, I think a good job of sort of building a real sort of comedy scene in Kamloops.
Yeah, we did not bad. I think it's been a bit of a struggle this summer. I mean, our open mic kind of fell off. The Effie went through some. Well, they're just trying to get everything tightened up with the city, so they chose to shut down a little bit, right? And it made sense. But it's been a bit of a struggle because we did have some momentum, right? There was a decent amount of comics that were coming in, and they're vastly different than the people who kind of started the open mic, right? So it was neat to see that we were giving different people opportunities, right? I thought that was pretty cool. That you know, you'll always get attrition, but I thought it was really neat that, you know, kind of giving new people.
Yeah, well, I had come to a few of those open mics here, and it was always interesting to see, you know, people going up for the first time,
Yeah.
and just challenging themselves to do it, and you know, really cool opportunity. 'Cause it's surprising the number of people that I talk to about comedy who have said, you know, I always kind of thought I wanted to do that, and I think it's in the back of a lot of people's heads, especially maybe, you know, a generation that grew up seeing, you know, say Johnny Carson or David Letterman and all of the comics that they had, and you know, getting a taste of stand up that way.
Yeah, and seeing that, and then on the flip side, the younger generation seeing, you know, like YouTube sensations, TikTok sensations, and stuff like that. So, you know, like, I mean, I remember when I used to watch comedy, on TV, it was always like just for laughs type of stuff, or it was like just comedy circuits, and I always wondered why they're on TV, because I didn't think it was that funny, right? Like, it wasn't like the late night stuff, you know what I mean? Like the sets that they were doing, and it was probably because they had to edit them for TV.
Sure, yeah. That's why we're up here and not showing what's going on downstairs.
100%.
Yeah.
That's so we didn't get the full, you know, feel of the jokes and everything like that. We got kind of the PG version, or the lead up to what they had their big funnies, right?
Right,
so
right.
I was always like, is this really funny? But interesting, to say the least. But yeah, it's definitely been really, really cool to do it, and I'm glad we're gonna, get an opportunity to keep going with the open mic and get some new blood up here again.
Yeah. So how did you go from just kind of trying stand up one time to sort of kind of getting more hands-on with the development of these festivals and stuff?
Largely it was Drew's passing that led me down this road, right? But I developed a huge passion for it, right? It was really interesting to see, right? Like, just as we started to do it, and there's nights that suck, right? Like, you're not going to get very many people out, and like, the crowds sometimes are good, sometimes the crowds don't laugh at all, right? And that's hard for an open mic, right? Where people are trying out their new material and their new stuff, and they're not really getting any love, right?
And that's not always necessarily the fault of the material either. Like,
no.
It can be good material and you still have a dead room.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's the thing that you need people to understand. Like, those are good jokes.
Yeah.
Don't stop doing them, right? And sometimes good jokes are great jokes, but it's just the flow that you get to them by,
Yes.
right? So
that's a lot of it, I think, is like the refining and getting the exact phrasing and the rhythm.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, definitely. Aaron does a great job of that. Last week when we hadn't done one in a while, it was funny because we were all, you know, a little bit rusty, and he was talking about like the structure of a joke more than actually telling a joke. He's like, in here I say something witty that makes you think I'm hilarious, and then I say something off-putting about myself that makes you feel sorry for me and endearing. And it was kind of neat because it was like structuring.
It's a meta comedy kind of.
Exactly. Yeah. It was really good.
Do you have any tips or encouragement for people who maybe want to dabble in comedy, or, you know, encouragement to get up on to an open mic situation?
100%. Just come out and give it a shot, guys. Like, it's scary. I know it's scary, but this is a safe space for comedians. If you're an audience member, you might get triggered, but if it's a safe space for comedians, man, just come out, try your stuff. We're going to be super supportive of you. We want people to come out and really try, and you never know. You never know. You might be hilarious, and give it a shot, right? I just don't think there's anything else to say, but just try.
Yeah, it's always worth a try, and I mean, I will say for myself, it is absolutely terrifying to do, but it's only terrifying for 5 minutes, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And you did good, Todd. You could have came back for sure. Right?
Oh, I'm still planning to. If you guys go back to the open mics, I've got some new stuff to try.
Perfect.
Out, so.
Yeah.
I've been keeping notes.
And I think that's the other thing too. Don't be scared that you're doing the same material over and over again, because people need to hone their stuff, right? You'll find that once you know your stuff inside and out, that you'll branch off from that original set that you wrote, and you'll make it better and better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's super important. That, like, I know when I started out, I didn't want to say the same thing over and over again, because I was doing just shows in Kamloops. I didn't want everybody to just be like, oh, I've heard that
Right, the same audience a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you have to realize that it takes a long time for that 5 minutes to be good.
To be good, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think my 5 minutes was okay, maybe, but not good. Fair enough, yeah.
It had some stuff, right?
It had some stuff.
There's definitely some, it had some promise for sure.
Yeah.
So that's all you need, right? There's some people that go up on their first time and they're absolutely hilarious, right? I think my first set, I practiced so much, right? I knew it inside and out, and I went out and I really went for it, right? And I felt good about it. And the second time I went up, I kind of wrote it right before the show, right? And I was so nervous, and I remember going to Lance, the owner of the Dirty Jersey at the time, and I think I had about 4 shots before I went on stage, and I went through my lines like it was supposed to be 4 minutes, and I think I was done in 2, right? It was just, so it was, going back, I've kind of gone back to that set, and there is some funny there, right? But it was just that day and how I did it, it didn't work out. So
We learn.
100%.
We learn.
Yeah. All we can do.
And then I guess, do you have any PG friendly bits from your sets that you might want to share live here?
Share right now? I mean, I've got a couple different things, right? Do you want to see my impression of an Italian playing craps?
Sure.
Super cheese, right?
It's good.
I mean, I have kids, so
You've got a couple that are friendly for them.
Yeah, it's PG. It's not. It's definitely. It's not all ages for sure. But like, it's pretty funny. Like, my kid is. Well, she's my kid, so there's not much hope for her. Right? She's gonna have a mouth on her. But we were driving. We went camping this year, and we were playing I Spy. She's 4 years old, so there's definitely nothing to hold against her for this. We were playing I Spy, and a couple rounds, right? Do a couple rounds, and then she says, "I spy with my little eye something that is green and blue and black." And I'm looking around, and there's nothing that's green and blue and black, and I'm like, "Man, you got me stumped, Nation. What is it?" She's like, "It's my butthole." And I'm like, Of course,
Well,
of course it is.
Some of those colors are worrying, though.
That's what I said. Why is it black? But yeah, toddler life is pretty great. That's something in itself, right? Like, raising a kid is, and trying not to corrupt them.
Oh, God.
There's no hope, right?
Mine is 12, turning 13 in May, and since they moved from elementary school to middle school, they have just started swearing up a storm.
Yeah.
We're in like Safeway the other day, and she's dropping F-bombs everywhere.
Yeah.
It was just like, settle down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the corruption's been done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily your fault. I mean, it's my fault. Yeah.
I'll blame my ex too. Like,
yeah, 100%.
She probably swears more than I do.
She copies my wife all the time, but I say the worst words. So if she starts, and I'm usually, I'll say it like, that's bad. I'm like,
Gotta watch that one.
Don't ever tell Mom I told you that one. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Like,
Nice.
Definitely lots of material when you got kids, right?
Oh, for sure. Always an endless source.
And wives.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't come to shows, so it's nice. She doesn't see any of my stuff.
So you can talk all about her.
Yeah.
She'll never know.
I said one day we'll have her in the audience, and I'll be like, it's okay that they say these things about my wife, because she doesn't come to these shows, and then she'll stand up. She's like, "I'm right here," and I'll just run off stage and out the door and never come back.
That's a great way to retire from comedy. Don't want to see you again.
100%. Did he die? Did she murder him?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share, or do you want to go and find Aaron for us?
Sure, I can go grab the big A.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it
for coming up, and good luck. Are you doing any bits tonight?
Yeah, I'm hosting tonight.
Awesome. Well, good luck, and good luck to all the comedians tonight.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So that was Ernie. We are waiting for Aaron to join us. We're trying to get them out of the way prior to 8 o'clock, which is when the comedy show here starts. We really would have loved to have been streaming the show that's downstairs tonight, but of course we have to be very PG friendly. We have
Justin Sider.
Someone here, Justin Sider.
Your
Come on
entertainment
in.
provider, Justin Sider.
Excellent, Justin. Nice to meet you. My name is Todd.
Pleasure.
So, tell us about yourself and what we're going to talk about tonight.
Well, we're obviously here for Drew's Comedy Fest.
Absolutely, yes.
Drew's a big inspiration for me. I never would have been on the stage if it wasn't for Drew. It was actually a week before he died. He's convinced me that you have to go on stage.
Wow.
So of course, I'm committed.
Right.
So I'm so glad that happened because, I learned how to do comedy. I learned how to do a lot of the things in life, and it prepared me for my other part of life, pro wrestling.
Oh, wow. That's... I wouldn't have expected a lot of overlap between those two things. Maybe you can share some of that.
Funny enough,
The
they're
Venn
actually
diagram,
very
or-
similar.
Yep.
Even the build.
You have to hate yourself a little bit.
Yep, we all have a lot of personal problems, a little bit of issues, of course. Too many outs or not enough outs, one of those kind of things between a lot of us comedians and wrestlers alike.
There's a lot of embracing going on in wrestling, so I could see that, yeah.
But even the long hours of travel, the comedians do the same thing. You're driving long hours, you're not getting paid as much as these big actors and people in big plays and big productions and stuff like that. The backstage is very the same. You never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you plan for an hour and they're told, hey, you got 15 minutes, change it now. It's a lot of on the fly.
Right.
You got to do, figure it out and make it happen. And like I said, a lot of us are kind of a little crazy in the head too, so I mean,
Yeah.
definitely a big crossover between wrestling and comedy.
So how long had you been thinking about doing comedy before you were, finally encouraged enough to get up there and do it?
I've always loved comedy my whole life. Comedy's been, it's always been there for me.
Yeah.
And so many of my favorite comedians through my whole life have inspired me to try and get on stage. And I think just like wrestling, it's one of those things where I realize I'm getting older.
Now's the time.
Yep, I'm 40 years old. It's time to start knocking things out of the park, getting that bucket list checked off, I guess people call it these days. But I'm very glad I did sign up for all these things, and I'm checking off these things, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah. Were you always kind of a jokester, or?
Yeah. People always told me I should have been a comedian my whole life growing up. Always quick reactions to comments and stuff like that. But I don't know, I just never really came up to have this opportunity before. And again, Drew was the one that provided that. So I wouldn't be here without Drew, and none of these comedians really, that are coming here tonight, a lot of the locals, a similar story.
Yeah.
None of them would have been on the stage without Drew, without him.
Ernie was just saying the same thing, yeah.
Without him making the open mic comedy night, that we've carried on the same tradition for the last 2 years here, and try to make it grow as much as we can.
Yeah, I've been to a few of them, and one of the things I enjoyed was sort of seeing the number of people that would just come down and it's their first time, they're just trying it out and bravely getting up there. And I mean, I even got up a couple of times myself. And again, it was for me, it was sort of one of those bucket list things that, like, in my case, it was Aaron who bugged me for probably 5 years before I finally did it.
Yeah.
He was relentless, but I didn't give up. I mean, I gave in, is what I'm saying. Is it hard do you think, for you, is it harder to, like, write a joke than it is to just sort of be casually funny, or is it about the same?
When you're going on stage just because you want to be more prepared, I feel like you get more nervous about wanting to make sure you have your jokes pre-prepared. But even after just doing it for a year myself, been a year and a half, I guess, 2 years that I'm doing comedy, learning really quickly that you can easily just flow as long as you have a place that you want to start, a place you want to finish at. Have fun with it and get there.
Yeah.
And play with the crowd, have some fun. And it's hard to be organic at first when you're nervous, and so you just have to kind of give it. Like I said, comedy and wrestling go hand in hand, and it's helped me to learn to interact with the crowd better at wrestling, and wrestling has helped me to interact with the crowd better at comedy.
Right. Which stage was more challenging to get onto for the first time, emotionally, psychologically?
They're both very difficult, actually, in their own separate ways.
Yeah.
Comedy was, all eyes are on you. You're the very center of everything.
Right.
And wrestling, the same kind of thing. Everything's on you. If you mess up, the business is on your shoulders. The whole thing's all right there. I was very nervous for both of my debuts. But I would say comedy more, because I had already done my wrestling thing. I'd already been a lead singer in a band. I'd already done all these things where I've been the center of attention, but still getting on the stage for the first time to do comedy and just not knowing for sure if people are going to like it, if you actually are funny or not. Like,
Yeah.
I may get booed out of this building tonight.
Exactly.
It's a very nerve-wracking thing, especially your first time. You don't get booed out the first time, you're like, whew,
Yeah.
okay, I'll come back.
Exactly. Like, anytime after that, it sucks, but you still have that one time that click that you know is in you.
Yeah.
Right? First time booed, I might not come back.
Yeah.
But as long as the first time gets some reaction, you know that there's something there that's
But
worth
like anything in the
pursuing.
bedroom too. Even if you suck the first time, you got to give it a second try.
Dude, that's
Try
true.
anything twice
That's
to make
true.
sure it wasn't a fluke.
Yeah, and maybe 3 times just to be safe.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips or encouragement for people that might want to, have thought about trying comedy?
Just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole point of why I do what I do. Drew is not the only person that's close to me that passed away personally in my life that inspired me to do this kind of thing. Another friend, Billy Baxter, passed away just before that inspired me to really get into wrestling. And Drew's the one that got me into comedy. So my whole wrestling gimmick is the 40-year-old rookie. And
Okay,
my
that's
whole point,
good.
Yeah, I started training at 37, 38, and I made my debut around 40. So 41 now, and that's kind of my moniker, is inspiring others that you're never too old to follow your dreams. It's never too old to just go out and do it. If you really want something, get out there. 10 years ago, I was barely walking. My back was all messed up, and I thought I'd never do any of these things. When I was a kid, I had terrible eyes, and I got laser surgery. So there's always, no matter how much you think there's never a chance, there's always a chance that something like that can happen, and you can do all these things and fulfill your dreams. Just got to commit to
Totally,
it.
yeah.
Make the drives that you have to make. I had to drive 4 hours each way to train every weekend.
Yeah.
Just do it. If you really love something, you're passionate about it, if you really want to make your dreams come true, go do it.
Exactly. I'm 50 this year, and it's only been in the last 5 years that I've gotten serious about doing content creation like this and filmmaking and stuff. So I totally understand where you're
That's
coming
your
from.
passion.
Yeah, exactly.
Go.
Any other odd bucket list items that you're waiting to tick off besides comedy and wrestling, or?
That was kind of the whole thing, and that was where not to get too deep, but that's kind of where it all started. Before my friend Billy passed away on his deathbed, he's a rough, gruff biker guy. He's done his stuff. I'm sure he's done things he didn't tell me about. You know what I mean? Done his time. You know what I mean? But I asked him if there's anything that he ever regretted in his life, and he said, "No, I don't regret anything I've ever done. I only regret the things I didn't do."
Yeah.
And he asked me, if you were on your deathbed right now, what would you regret not doing? And the answer was simple.
Yeah.
I would regret not ever trying wrestling. So that's another reason I pursued my dream. I
Yeah.
told the guy on his deathbed I was going to do it. You better damn well do it. But
That's right. Yeah.
But in the end of the day, he was right. And I live my life by that. I've seen every band I've wanted to see. And I've worked the overtime that I have to do to make all these things happen. And the avenues to make these things happen are there if you really want to make them happen. It's not just about wrestling or comedy or even just working out, doing other things, going to concerts, seeing your favorite artists you've never seen before. Like, check off those things, do those things. You never know when you might not get the chance to. Even with COVID proved that to us as well, where like the whole world was locked down, even though we're all still alive, but we can't just go do the things that we love to do. So don't take those things for granted.
They can go
Don't
at
take
any
your
time.
health for granted.
Yeah.
Just get out there and do what you always dreamed.
Yeah, and that thing too about it's the things you don't do that you regret. It feels like a cliche. It gets said so many times, but so many people I think just dismiss it as well because of its.
They do, and I do feel like I'm
cliche-ness.
a broken record sometimes.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
I know
but
that
if
says
you
so much.
if you do live your life that way, it's so much more rewarding.
Absolutely.
And it's absolutely true.
And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Is just leadership by example. Like,
Yeah.
if people watch me do this, they will follow. And I see that when my trainees that I have from wrestling, that I have people that are 50 years old in my training class in wrestling. So I know it's nice to see that I'm inspiring others to do that. If I can inspire just one other person to follow their dreams, then it's all worth it.
Right. Fantastic. Any bits from your comedy act, PG friendly, that you want to share here, or?
PG friendly? I don't know.
I know that's a tall order for most comedians.
Yeah. Yeah, going through a lot of things in my head. There's not a lot.
Not a lot.
I got on this kind
Favorite
of
knock-knock joke, or?
No. Oh, no, that's not PG friendly either. Wow, I'm really not a clean comedian.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, I
can
don't
understand.
do a lot of clean stuff apparently.
Yeah. My first set was all about placentas, so it's probably PG friendly, but just gross.
Yeah. I got a gross story, I guess. It's the worst thing I've ever.
You mean?
The worst thing I've ever done in wrestling.
Okay.
Worst bump I've ever taken. So I'm in a hardcore match.
Yeah.
I get thrown against a pole, no big deal. I get hit with a kendo stick, no big deal. Go through a ladder, broken in half, no big deal. I get thrown through some chairs, we call it chair bowling. Super fun. Try to see how many chairs you knock down.
Yeah.
I got a strike, great.
Nice.
So I'm laying there among the chairs, on the floor, all these beers are strewn everywhere. And fans are going wild, and I see a beer laying standing up, sitting right beside me. I'm like, I'm gonna have the greatest moment in my career. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna pick up this beer. I'm gonna slam it. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna pour it all in my mouth. The fans are gonna go wild, like I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
So I pick up this beer. It feels pretty heavy. I'm like, yeah, it's about half full. Perfect. I pick it up over my head. I turn it upside down. I'm like, a lot of things go through your head in half a second. Like, shouldn't that be here by now? That's kind of weird. Give it a tiny little shake, and I feel the slow slide coming down. And I open my eyes just in time to see the black chunks.
What the?
Someone's tobacco.
Oh,
chew.
God.
So if anybody ever tries to tell you the wrestlers aren't tough, you tell them that story.
I don't think I could handle
Still
that.
alive until I finished the match too.
Excellent.
I did.
That's much more than I would have handled.
I may have thrown up under the ring a little bit, but I didn't miss a beat.
All for the show. The show must go on.
That's right, absolutely.
Anything else you want to share, or?
No, you might even talk to her in a little while here if she makes her way up here. Christine Beanie,
Okay.
My fiance, she's been similar story.
Awesome.
She's new to comedy as well. Started the same kind of time as that, and we met through comedy.
Oh,
sorry,
really?
we didn't meet through comedy. So we met 10 years ago, but she knew Ernie that was in her earlier. They grew up and married together. Funny enough, it's like a small world where all these years later we all kind of come together and whatnot. But the way that her and I met, it's kind of a PG story. I don't know, it's not PG-13.
You can bleep out the parts that. I mean, I can. You need to do your own manually bleeping.
So I was a courier
Okay.
running Merit, and she was a receptionist at one of my stops.
Sure.
So I came in there one day. We flirted sometimes. I came in there one day with a package. I threw it up on the desk. What would you like me to do with this package, young lady? And she looked me right in the eye and said, "You can deliver that in the back door." We've been an item ever since, and we're still happy to this day.
Excellent. That's lovely.
And speak of the devil, there she is.
The devil has arrived.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Why don't we get you guys to swap places here?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You can just, there's a release form there for you to fill out,
Okay.
which I really encourage you to do, because otherwise I can't shoot what we just filmed. So
Perfect.
Mwah.
Hi.
I just told them all about how you like butt stuff, so there you go. You can start from there.
Oh, wow.
I'm just.
we can start anywhere you like. Doesn't have to be.
Wonderful.
Doesn't even have to go near butt stuff. The
Perfect.
the more PG this is, not drifting towards PG-13, will make my TELUS
I like it.
overlords
This is
happy.
This is good. This is good. This is good. I can stay PG.
So I'm Todd. Hi.
I'm Christine. Nice to meet you.
Christine.
Christine Beanie.
Christine Beanie. That is how we introduced you. What brings you out here tonight? You're part of the Comedy Fest here.
Yeah, I've been working on the KamComedyFest. Previously with Drew for, I think this is year number 5, maybe, that I've been doing this. Yeah. So, been helping out with organizing it this time and having a lot of fun doing that, working with Ernie and Aaron and Kaylee and Justin. And yeah, I've been spending a lot of time making this what it's going to be.
Right. And what is it going to be?
It is going to be an epic time. Over 20 comedians. I'm super excited. I'm so excited to see some of these comedians. Like, I just keep watching clips and I'm just like, this is like, I'm ready to laugh. I'm ready to hurt on Sunday from laughing so much. So I think it's just going to be a great time, and I really hope that Kamloops takes in what this is really going to be about, because I think it's going to be it's going to be a really fun time.
Yeah. So it's 4 nights.
Yeah.
2 venues.
Yeah.
Is it all sort of roughly the same time at both venues? Is it?
No, yeah, so it is. So Effie and Paramount are running simultaneously.
Yeah.
Doors are at 6:30, 7 o'clock for the early show, 9 o'clock for the late show, and
that's every night, or?
On Friday and Saturday night.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are gonna be like the main
The big
huge
nights,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah. And we get to use the new stage at the Paramount.
Yeah,
Apparently it's
very cool.
really nice. I haven't seen it yet. I'm really excited to see it.
I've only seen it from the audience, but
I'm so excited to see
Yeah.
it. And so it's going to be, every artist is going to work at every venue. So you can go to the Paramount and see the whole lineup of artists, or you can go to the Effie, or you can mix and match.
Yeah.
So There's festival passes for that, so if you want to try out both venues, there's festival passes, there's weekend passes, there's just nightly ones. Like, it's just, there's so much that you can do with this. And so tickets are all available on www.KamComedyFest.ca. And yeah, a blast. It's gonna just be, it's gonna be amazing. We haven't had the, it's been years, I guess, 3 years now since we've used the Paramount. 2 years? 2 years.
They wouldn't have had the stage at that point.
They didn't.
Yeah,
So this is new. This is new. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a much better venue for it now.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, it'll be really fun to do. It was fun when we did it last time, so I can just imagine how much better it's gonna be with the stage.
How filled does it get? Because there's a lot of seats there.
Yeah, you're allowed. We can have up to 500 people. So I'm really hoping to see Kamloops come out and just fill those seats, make it, make it loud with laughter.
For
and,
sure.
Yeah, I'm
I'll have to see
super
if I
excited.
can make it up to one of
I
those
really
shows.
hope you can.
Yeah.
And then of course the Effie, we have tomorrow night's a sponsor appreciation night. So for all of our awesome sponsors, we got some amazing sponsors who really helped put this on. So we're doing a sponsor appreciation event tomorrow night, and then the Friday and Saturday are more so for just the community to come out and just really enjoy this. But the Effie is going to have what was I going to say? I lost where I was going with that.
Upcoming nights, tomorrow night is this, and then
the Effie's gonna be. You can have about 100 people in here. It's a nice little cozy feel.
Oh, cozier, yeah.
And it's like tonight we're doing an open mic here. It is such a great venue to do comedy in. Like it's been amazing.
It is. The intimacy is really, really, really valuable. Like you've got the people right there, and they're generally. Well, because especially with the open mic, you've got a lot of people in the audience who are planning to get up and do a 5-minute bit.
Give it a shot, yeah.
And so it's just very welcoming. Everybody kind of wants everybody else to nail it. So they want to laugh, they want to have fun, and so it's generally a good vibe for even a first timer getting up.
Absolutely, and I mean, I probably never would have ever done open mic comedy had it not been for the Effie.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that I was always like, haha, yeah, I'll do that one day. And I was like, I was never planning on doing it. And I think that everybody said, because of Drew, we've all went into this fun little world of open mic comedy. But it's like, it is one of the best times that you can have. Like, it really, it's brought me to a new level of comfort.
Right.
In all situations. So I love it. I find it's like sort of like it's like having a counselor. I don't know. You get to like throw all your stuff at somebody and see if they laugh at you. If they think you're funny, great. If not, go back and try it again.
Go back and try again.
Yeah.
It's their loss, right?
Oh, there are times when you're up there and you don't do so well, and there are times when you come down and you're like, yeah, I nailed it.
Yeah.
And it can be the exact same set.
Oh yeah.
It can be the exact same set.
Yeah. I've only done comedy here a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I know that feeling from theater as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you get up on stage, you do the show exactly the same way you always did. Sometimes you get a huge laugh, and sometimes it's just dead the whole night.
Oh, absolutely.
And you just, it's just, there's an absence of energy or something.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I've also done theater, and there are those times when, and it's been a long time, so that's why doing comedy was a big deal. I hadn't been up on stage in probably 15, 20 years. I was like, I can't do this, but you can. It's amazing. But yeah, no, I found that theater very much was like that. You could know exactly what you're gonna do. Everybody could hit all their lines, and you just didn't feel like the crowd got it. But then there's those nights where you're just like, you can be half a crowd, and you're just like, oh, we blew that out of the water. Like these people are gonna come back. Like, and that's what's really nice, right? So it's fun to do. It's a fun world.
Mm-hmm. I found too, compared to theater, comedy was a little bit harder just because when you're on stage in a play, you're reading somebody else's lines and you're portraying somebody else's character. But when you're doing comedy, that's you, that's your jokes, it's all on you. And
it's
if
raw.
anything doesn't work, there's no one to blame except maybe the audience sucked. But but other than that,
you're raw.
It's
like
on your shoulders.
You're sometimes throwing stuff at them, and you're just like, are they gonna get this? Are they not gonna get this? Do my friends just get this and they think I'm funny because of this? But other people won't think it. And I've had that where I'll put a really good set out there, and I'll be like, this is really funny. But it's just because my friends know me. That's why they think it's funny.
For sure.
Whereas other people are like, I don't understand where you're going with this. And I'm like, And it's hard sometimes because you think those are the best ones, And then there's the ones where you don't think you have anything good, and people like it.
It just-
so
it clicks.
You just don't know. You
Yeah.
don't know until you try it. And I always say that. Like, people will say to me when I'm walking around and I'll talk about open mic comedy, they'll be like, "Oh, I've always wanted to try open mic." I'm like, "Then you need to do it. Like, you need to give it a shot because you just, you're funny, and it could be something that just really opens you up in this world." So I really hope to see more people coming out to open mics.
Yeah.
I really hope to see a lot of people coming out this weekend and getting almost that excitement of, hey, I could do this. That's a funny joke. I could go out. And I like listening to comedians because they'll be like, they'll bring up one of their jokes and you'll be like, oh, that's a funny story I had from way back when.
Yep.
How can I make this be something? And I find that that's a really good part of going to comedy shows. I appreciate them a lot more because I'm like, oh, that would be a really good segue in this way. Obviously, don't want to copy anybody, but like just like something where it just triggers that memory from the past. Where you're
Well, and it's realizing that what to you was just a funny anecdote can actually be revised into a bit,
Yes.
right? That's sort of where I started with I was telling these funny stories to friends often enough that I was like, this is already almost me doing a stand-up bit because I'm just doing the same story, mostly the same way. That's stand-up.
Exactly.
So speaking of the number of people who have expressed an interest in comedy, because I've found that too.
Yeah.
Every time I bring up the fact that I've done it, they're like, I always kind of wanted to try that.
Yeah.
Do you have? And I've asked everybody else this so far. Do you have any encouragement or tips for what they should do? But I will say, because everybody else has just said, just do it.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for prepping, say, before they do? Because you can't just get up there and go.
No, I mean you
some people
could.
probably
Some people
could.
do.
But do you have any recommendations for
I
like how to
definitely
properly
say
prep?
stand. Like I always try it on. Well, I tried it on Justin lots. I would just I write stuff down. I just write some notes down. I have like on my tasks thing on my phone. I go in there and I write just little things down, and I'm like, and then sometimes I'll say it to myself in the mirror. And you're your worst critic. You are your worst critic. So if you can say it to yourself in the mirror and look at yourself when you're doing it. I won't look at myself most of the time. I'll just be like, I'm in the mirror. But you do. It is good to write down funny things that happen to you. Even having some sort of a journal or something where you write down funny things that happen and, hey, can I make that into a bit? Maybe. But the biggest thing is, and again, just do it. You need to go up onto a stage, and that's why something like the Effie is such a good thing, because you are in this spot where there's people who are really here to support you.
Yeah.
And I've seen people who have grown so much from that, people who have, first timers that all of a sudden they come back and they're just blowing out of the water. It's just amazing. So, yeah, it is a really good thing. And always remember that you're not going to be perfect every time.
No, absolutely not.
It's going to be hard. So, yeah.
Do you have any bits from your comedy stuff that are PG friendly that you want to share? No pressure. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'm going to wait a little bit here because I'm going to go on stage tonight probably.
Well, you don't want to burn them out now, then no, absolutely not.
I think I'm going to throw it out there and
Fair enough.
come to the Effie.
All right, yeah.
If
If you're watching this live, you could come down right now and still get in to see these fine comedians. So
Yes, right now.
get behind the wheel and race on down here, everybody.
You can wear your pajamas. It's
You can
okay.
wear your pajamas.
We might say something, but you can wear your pajamas.
Look at what is there a better deal than that?
Yeah. Come down.
If you're not wearing your pajamas already, just put them on and then come down.
Wear the craziest outfits ever. That'd be cool.
Exactly.
We could have so much fun with
Right?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you very much.
Awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I appreciate this.
Thanks.
Thank
And
you so
if
much.
you don't mind just filling
Yeah,
out
you betcha.
one of those forms.
You
for
got
me.
it. I will do
Brilliant. Are you coming to chat or?
If you want me to.
I would love to. Come on in.
He's already filled that.
Hey,
Fills up for you.
how you doing?
All right, how are you?
Good. So we are talking to Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah. Damn, I'm so sorry. And we are at the start of the KamComedyFest.
Yeah, that's right.
And how do you feel about that?
Fine, great. They're streaming this downstairs.
The streaming
Know
this
about that?
downstairs?
Yeah, did you know about that?
Us?
Yeah,
Like they're showing what we're doing right here downstairs?
yeah.
I had no idea.
You didn't know? They got
No.
the screen down and everybody's...
That's friggin' wild.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's probably going to close it and start soon. So
Yeah,
I don't
because
know how-
isn't it supposed to have started already?
Yeah, I think,
We're the pre-show?
yeah, you and... This can go on as long as you want, but they're about to roll the thing up and start. So.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm committed until 8:30,
All right.
I have to stream until 8:30.
Okay.
If there's nobody else coming up at that point, I'll just have to
All right. Well,
do a little song and dance act or something.
yeah.
But,
So what brings you to the couch?
I'm once again doing live streams for TELUS STORYHIVE. I think you might have been involved with one of the Slips streams that we did in 2022, possibly.
Yeah, we talked before any slips. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm back doing that for another 9-month period this time.
Yeah.
This is our first stream as part of that, so we ran into some technical difficulties. The Rode microphones weren't working, so we're just using the default iPhone microphone. But really excited to be back in streaming content from Kamloops again, and happy to be here, breaking in the first night of the Comedy Fest with you guys. And we're having a chat.
All right. Yeah.
So what's still to come in the Comedy Fest that you want to share? Is there anything? What's going on?
I'm not an organizer of it, so.
So okay, so you're here as just as a
specifically,
comedian.
I'm just here as a comedian tonight. It's open mic downstairs tonight, and that's something that the Effie does every Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was on hiatus for a little while, but they're back, so it's open mic comedy at the Effie every Wednesday. And then I'm probably going to get into the lineup on either Friday or Saturday. I don't know which yet, but
Nice.
yeah.
So how did you first get into doing stand-up?
The first time I ever did stand-up was in this building, way back when it was the Stagehouse Theater.
Yep.
There was a contest called So You Think You're Funny or something like that. And that's where I met Aaron for the first time. And I was 19 and I got second place.
Nice. That's
And
encouraging.
yeah, and then I did a couple of little things here and there, and I didn't for a long time until I heard from Aaron again. He had said that Drew McLean, who at the time had the Dirty Jersey, he was running a pro amateur comedy night at the Dirty Jersey, and I started going out to those. And then the Dirty Jersey closed, and eventually Aaron and Kaylee and Drew wanted to found the Effie,
Yeah.
and so so I started when Drew passed away, and then Aaron and Kaylee needed some extra hands around here, so I worked at the Effie for a year.
Right.
And we were doing the event, and I've done stand-up before, so I got back into it and back into the swing of things. And it's just something I always kind of have in my back pocket, is I can get up and do stand-up whenever it comes along.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You have like a pretty good 5 that you can always rely on, or do you
I
more
think
often try out new bits, or?
I don't like to tell the same 5 every Wednesday.
Yeah.
For the same people all
Right.
the time. I do have a pretty rock solid set that I'm happy to bring around to different audiences. But open mic is where the experimentation happens.
Sure.
Open mic is where you try something out and find out if it's funny or not.
Yeah.
And that's the spirit of the event going on down there right now, is that surely many of those people are being very funny, and sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
And this is how they'll find out. And then they'll definitely be just funny when it comes to
The bigger events.
big event. Yeah.
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 Do you find, because this has come up in the previous conversations I've had tonight, people talking about how there's a lot of interest in doing stand-up comedy among people, that, if you tell somebody you've done stand-up, like, I always thought I could do that.
I have a lot of friends through the theater world and from improv and that who have come out and done it once or twice, or who say they've always wanted to, but they never quite. It's been a hard sell among people who I know can do it,
Right.
to get them to actually come and do it.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think the
Is it like,
Yeah.
for me, the struggle was going from, I think I can be funny, to like actually writing a set, like coming up with a sequence of bits that become a
Right.
thing, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing about stand-up is that you really have to start from nothing. When you're doing stand-up comedy, all you're doing is talking.
Yeah.
So when you're, I don't know, in improv or something, there's always a game mechanic, or there's always
Or you're reacting,
there's
or
always
yes
a
and
reaction.
or
Yeah, and that's also very good, and also very funny, and also extremely challenging in all
Yeah.
of its own ways.
Yeah.
One of these is not easier or harder than the other, but it's a different set of skills
for sure.
to be on your own and from a standing start being funny. And a lot of the people that I know they're very funny people and they're very talented, but I think that the more there's this middle zone where you don't know anything and you think, oh, I could do that, and then there's an expert level where you go up and you do it, and then there's this middle level where you're pretty funny and you could do it, but you know just enough about how theater works and how comedy works to doubt yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
You know just enough about what is or isn't funny to think that you will not do good, and that you have to either fully overcome that doubt, or you have to be utterly naive.
right.
You know. And so I think a lot of those people who are absolutely funny enough to do this are hesitant to, because they have that doubt. They
Yeah.
have the self-awareness, which turns to self-consciousness, that to put the fear in them that what if I'm not funny?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And it can be too that you get up with good material,
Yeah.
and it's just a bad reaction,
Well-
but that you're still going to take that in, right?
Well, and the thing that they're going to come to realize is that those of us who do get up and do it regularly are also filled with the fear, what if I'm not funny?
Right.
And we just go, it's not that I don't worry about that, it's that I do it anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. Looks like you've got.
I have another guest waiting in line.
Yeah.
but,
If you got more stuff to say,
we don't have to rush through you.
That's the end, unless you got more questions.
I mean, I can always think of more questions, but
Yeah. Well, thanks for.
yeah, thanks for coming.
for
And
having me on the
do you have any
show.
encouragement for people who want to get up and try comedy after just explaining how challenging it is, and the terror and everything else? Or
Yeah, it's if you're waiting for it to get easier, it's not going to. Just do it now. Just do it.
do it now.
Just do it now.
It's like rip the bandage
It's
off.
it's never going to get less scary. You just have to do it.
You just get used to the scary.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And like what I said earlier is that it's completely terrifying, but it's only terrifying for 5
Uh-huh.
minutes.
yeah.
And then you're done. You hit till the next time.
Well, and if you're horrible and you bomb the first time, at
Do it
least
again.
you know what it feels like.
Don't give up after that
At
first
least
time.
you know what the lights feel like in your face, and
Yes.
you know what the microphone feels like in your hand, and you are one step more prepared
for the next
to
time.
do it better next time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Thanks so much
Yeah.
for your time. You filled out one of the forms already?
I did. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you. All right. Take care.
Yeah, take care, man.
Yeah.
And come on in, Aaron.
all right.
Well, looks like we'll wrap things up with you. We started with Ernie. We'll end on you for a 1 hour stream.
All right.
I heard that you guys were putting this on down there. I had no idea.
So I don't know if I can show that to your bosses, but
I mean, I don't think it makes us look bad, does it?
well, I just don't know. Do we have to buy the rights to do what we're doing here?
Oh, that would be legalese.
We're not doing it now.
That'll be legalese. It's over my pay grade. We'll just pretend that maybe it didn't happen. I honestly don't know. We probably shouldn't even be talking about this. But,
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not talking about
No,
anything.
I don't know what we're talking about either. I'm
Yeah.
so confused right now. How you doing?
Good, doing good.
So this is the start of the KamComedyFest.
Yes.
Already learned a bunch about that from everyone I've spoken to already. Is there anything you don't know well, you know some of what we've heard because you may have heard it telepathically.
I know. Yeah, there may have been a little birdie.
Is there anything we've missed or anything that you want to add to that or?
To be honest, I wasn't listening.
Okay, even better. Tell us what this event means to you.
Oh, this is great because this is a chance for to perform in front of your friends and family. And if I had any friends and family in Kamloops, they would maybe get to. So it's not much different than anything else. It's really it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears of audience members.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As they gnash their teeth in agony at what they see on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of fights.
Yeah.
In 2017, we had a huge brawl between the Kelowna Comics and the Nelson Comics.
Oh wow. It's like a street
And
fight.
and the Edmonton Comics had to come in. We thought they were going to break it up, but no, they just beat up both of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So it's Edmonton you want to stay away from.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like an important tip to know coming.
Actually, the true story. There is an Edmonton comic, Sterling, who he recorded one of his secret tracks on his comedy album. Is a story of him performing at the KamComedyFest in Chase.
Really?
Yes.
And it's not a particularly violent joke or anything, is it? Or
No, it's not a joke. It's a story.
Oh, it's a story.
It's an adventure.
Okay.
That it's very enjoyable. So if you look up Sterling Scott,
go look that up.
yeah, his comedy album there.
Yeah. I heard you and Ernie on CBC this morning, and you guys were talking about how it feels like people are at a point where they really want to laugh.
I think so. Like, you got to do something, right? Like when the world is where it is as it is, and there's just so much strife and division, and people refuse to learn how to zipper merge. There's only two things you can do. You can laugh or you can cry.
Yeah.
And we all cry.
We do.
We cry a lot. And so I think it's much better
To replace some of the tears
with laughter.
yes, and crying from laughing so hard. Not from
Actually,
sadness.
one of our headliners, Patrick Malia, like literally people were leaving the theater last year, like, and they're just like rubbing their face, just like because they sucked his cocks. They laughed so hard that show. It was just
Okay, so some bleep is going to have to be done before we deliver this.
before they, we can do that again from the top.
That's okay. It's done. It's live, man. There's nothing we can do about it now. Now I'm distracted. What was I saying?
Memorable times. I think the first KamComedyFest I did air guitar, and I think that this is one thing that's in my memory was I did air guitar at the festival, and then I hosted the Hometown Heroes show, and I refused to leave the stage until I got a laugh at the Hometown Heroes show, and Drew turned off all the lights on stage. Which got a laugh.
Yeah.
And then I left the stage,
That worked out.
But after so John Doerr was the headliner of that year, and we were just like on the ground. John Doerr was the funniest act that we'd seen, and we were just like watching. I was at the door watching people leave, and everybody's just wiping tears away from their eyes. And then one guy's like, "Remember that guy that played air guitar? That was something." And it's just like, after 3 days of solid festival, and that's what he took away with it. And this.
Everyone reacts differently to different things.
Yeah, and that's really just, that's what's so much fun about the festivals. There's just so much going on, and everybody's going to get something different. Somebody's going to take away something different, and it's hard to believe it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
2 years without Drew, and we just try to do everything that he wouldn't.
Right. I won't ask what that means. What are some of the names of some of the comedians who are here for this?
Brittany Lysing, she's just released a comedy album. She's, I believe she's from Edmonton right now, grew up in Manitoba, and she's got great stories of working construction with her dad. Dale Ward's from Calgary. He's very funny. He's a tremendous stand-up. Like just his jokes are wonderful. But he's also one of those comedians that likes to experiment with why people laugh, like Steve Martin.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so he's more experimental that way. He's really on the edge that way and doing obscure things just to see
the reactions.
Yeah. And so he who knows if he does something extra, it's going to be fabulous. If he just does this regular stand-up, it's going to be fabulous. He's just one of those comedians. We've got Amber Harper Young. She's originally from Calgary, moved to Vancouver. I met her 12 years ago. I was staying on CBC. We were just both at an open mic.
Yeah.
And, now I'm, at an open mic in Kamloops, and she's on CBC radio and doing Just for Laughs and all that. So, it's fine.
It's fine.
Dino Archie, who's on Jimmy Kimmel, we did shows together at the Dirty Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm at the Effie. He's
at
Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah.
There's almost an obsessiveness to this.
Shooter Steve McGowan.
Yeah.
He's been Just for Laughs Northwest. He's from Langley. He had the funniest TikToks. Oh no, this is actually before TikToks. This was like Facebook Reels.
Oh wow.
Of him just harassing his boss. It was so funny. It was a stressed out Adam, and he would just taunt his boss and watch him go ballistic. And I was always wondering, like, how much truth was it a skit? Was this planned?
Yeah.
And then he got fired. And we went, okay, no, it was real.
Real.
It was real. And then we've got all the Kelowna comedians have been such a great help, where they usually headline our open mic.
Mm-hmm.
We run our open mic professionally. What I learned from James Moore in Calgary, he's had the longest running open mic in Canada.
Wow.
And just watching how he runs a show professionally, it really took that, and just so that you leave every show here on a high note.
Yeah.
Open mic's hard. You're trying different stuff. You're trying new things. Like in the shower, everyone's hilarious.
Yes. You had a great singer.
Yeah. And then then you say something in front of people. You're like, that's really racist. Like, I didn't realize until I saw your reaction that, oh no, I should not have said that. And you're like,
self.
Exactly. And so we're open this way. We're like, we don't want, we definitely watch people being maliciously hateful, but it's also you have to try things. Like you have in your own little group of friends and stuff. A lot of times they'll say you're funny just so that you feel better. Mm-hmm. And so it's great to. But then we've got these Kelowna comics. Kate Belton, she was just on CBC Laugh Out Loud with Ali Hassan. Matt Baker was just on there. We've got Albert Coombs all the way from Nova Scotia.
Wow.
He's here this week. Yeah, there's so many people, like Andrew Crone. There's 20 comedians.
Nice. Wow.
10 shows.
Yeah.
4 days.
And each show has how many comedians? Like not all 20.
No, each show's running about 5 comedians.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to get a few shows if you want to sort of.
And that's the nice thing. What we've done is, there's usually multiple shows in multiple venues.
Yeah.
But here, you can come to the one venue and we switch the comedians out.
Right.
So we'll have the late show and the early show flip. So if you come to the Effie for the early show, you'll get to see the Paramount's early show
On
and
the
the late show. Yeah.
That's convenient that depending on which side of the bridge you're on, you can just come to the one venue and eventually see everybody.
Exactly, yeah. And then you just set up your little, get your drinks, set up your little space there and enjoy the whole night.
For sure.
Yeah, we've got it. It's funny, like over the years, we see the festival buyers. They'll buy their festival pass, and they'll go to 10 straight shows of comedy, and they will be laughing at it. They do not get tired. They just each show is different, unique, and hilarious,
Yeah.
and they'll ride the whole way through.
Well, that's another thing about comedy is that there really isn't like a single type of stand-up. Like
No.
it's so diverse that you can go to a show like an early and a late show and see so many different kinds of comedians doing so many different kinds of jokes that it doesn't get old,
Yeah.
right?
We've had the Freudian Slips Improv at the festival
Mhm.
before, and through that they then got to do a show with Colin Mockery.
Oh
And,
wow,
like,
really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
they were. That's.
That must have been like so exciting. For
Yeah,
some of them.
exactly. That's too, like, it's a local festival, so we always get our local comedians involved, and that's what Drew was about. Was
Yeah.
giving us the opportunity, maybe because we're lower pay and and it keeps those budgets down, but he's just really let's really celebrate who we have here, and it's great to be learning. You come in on a festival like this as a open micer in town here, and you work with these other comedians and professional comedians, and then they watch your set too.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll give you pointers and,
Yeah.
and tips and stuff, and tell you that was really good. You might want to work on this, and it's not much to them,
Mm-hmm.
but it's huge to us to
Yeah.
like just have that pointed out, and just it's fantastic.
Well, it does seem like, again, across the board, it's a pretty inclusive community. Whether it's just amongst the local comedians or even, some of the bigger names, it seems like for the most part, everybody wants to see everybody else succeed, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely, because you never know when you're going to be on the same show as somebody.
Yeah.
And you just want to succeed. There is games and stuff. One of my favorite stories is there was a tour going on with Norm Macdonald.
Okay.
And so there's all these comedians on tour, and Norm Macdonald's watching their sets. And one day he's like, you know what, guys, I want to go on first. And they're like, what? But you're the headliner. He's like, don't worry, I just want, it'll be fun. I'll go on first and do a little bit, and it'll everybody will go wild. They'll not know what's going on, and then you guys go on, and then I'll. And these are all like junior comedians, just starting out. They've got their 10 minutes of good comedy, and that's it. And so Norm Macdonald goes on first. He did all of their jokes.
Oh, God damn it.
And then left the stage, and then all these other comedians had to go into their B material, and the audience hate. They're just like, these comedians that open for Norm, they're terrible. Why are they with Norm? This is horrible. And then he's just howling.
Yeah, it seems like a very Norm Macdonald thing to do. Okay, so where can people get tickets? How much are tickets?
KamComedyFest.ca. That's the best place. Just KamComedyFest. KamComedyFest.ca. I don't know if you're gonna have it right here. We'll see.
Not live anymore.
Okay, but just go to KamComedyFest.ca, and tickets are $25 a show, or $40 for the whole night.
Okay.
$90 for the festival pass, which includes the Thursday Secret Show.
Okay, tell me about the Thursday Secret Show.
Thursday,
As much as you can.
Thursday Secret Show. It's so the lineup's not released. It's just to celebrate the supporters of the festival.
Mm-hmm.
So people that buy their festival pass and their or sponsors, and we're just gonna have a great time here at the Effie tomorrow night. And there's gonna be a bunch of comedians that we haven't said who they are. So maybe there's some comedians from the festival. Maybe there's some locals. Maybe there's somebody you don't know.
Interesting. Only one way to find out.
Yeah, our budget's like this, so don't think like this.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just something.
It's Norm Macdonald.
his corpse.
Of course. You got it cheap.
Yeah, we couldn't afford him alive.
You've been waiting for this day.
Just wheel him in. Just all right, here you go.
Do my jokes now.
He was a lot better when he was alive. Or maybe some people will think he's better dead. Who knows?
Those comedians he stole the jokes from that one time, I probably would think so. Anything else you want to share, or
No, just thanks so much, Todd, for coming out. The Story Hive is fantastic. I know
Yeah, you've worked with them a bunch too.
Yeah, the Effies are the huge lover of StoryHive. They help support 3 seasons of our own show here at the Effie, and it's so great to again local television. But the loss of local news, like it's a scary time for that. And really, the only place you're going to get your news is open mic. So come every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and
get your news.
Get your news at the open mic.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Todd.
And all the best with the rest of the festival.
Thank you.
And that's it for us.